So here we are today, another day in the podcast, Conversations with DJ. Today we have Dekel Bar from Israeli, I believe. Israel, yeah, my bad. And you're Israeli, sorry.
There you go.
But yeah, dude, obviously we've known each other for a long time now. Been kind of playing each other since 2018.
Yeah.
And we have done a couple tournaments together, some of them better than others.
Yes.
Just please go ahead and maybe introduce yourself, say whatever you want to say, and just a couple fun facts if you want.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. First of all, sweet setup here.
Thanks, brother.
It's awesome. Dekel Bar from Israel. I moved to the U.S. About 4 years ago now when COVID started. I was kind of stuck here at first, and then I chose to stay. And now I live in Austin, where we stayed together in the same house for a while and at Dreamland there. Steve brought us there, and kind of that I feel like that's where we connected more.
For sure.
Now I still live in Austin, not in Dreamland anymore, but in South Austin. I think it's the best.
Sweet house, congratulations.
Thanks, man. I feel like it's the best place to train at this point. This place, Austin or in South Florida.
Yeah.
I feel like we have more guys in Austin to train with. Now in Cali for a week. I decided to stay another week after San Clemente because it's so nice here. It's crazy.
Dude, it's the best.
And it's a little bit hot in Austin right now. So happy to be here for a little bit, and from here off to Grand Rapids, MLP.
Dude. Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
No, very cool. Obviously, huge congratulations to you. Another bronze medal with the most electrifying man in sports.
Tyson, the man, yeah.
I'm super happy for you to stay here for another week. I wish I could be playing padel with all of you guys. I'm a little bummed, but I'll be good to go next Tuesday. But by that time, I think you'll be gone.
Okay. Yeah.
Are Ben and Collin staying?
Yeah, they're here for the whole month, I believe.
Oh wow, I'm gonna definitely play some padel with them and see how that
should.
goes. Actually, I know you guys are playing around 2, so I'll come through and say hi to everybody.
Sweet.
I won't stay for too long, because then I want to play, and that's not a good thing, right? But then again, congratulations. Obviously, the funny thing about you, and in this case for me, is that you're one of the few people back to when I started playing, you're one of the few people on tour that were actually a good tennis player. I was so tired of hearing people like, dude, I was so good at tennis, whatever in the pro, this and this, and I look him up and it's like nothing. Like everyone just kind of lied about it. But you actually did do pretty good in tennis, but you had some injuries going on, So if you want to talk a little bit about your tennis days, that'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. Played a lot of tennis. I started when I was 9. Right away, I kind of started playing tournaments and everything. I loved it right away. So I played pro from the age of 18 to about 24.
No college stuff.
No college, no. So in Israel, I feel like some people go to college, to U.S. college with tennis, and some don't. Now it's more popular. More people do it now. At the time, I didn't think. I just wanted to play pro. That was my goal, and I thought if I go to college, it might not be the best route for me, professionally. And now I feel like it's different. There's a lot more. There's better programs in college, and it might be a better route. I might have done it differently now, but anyway, not regretting anything. Had a blast competing. It was especially at first when you started the tour. I was like, just put me anywhere in the world, like the shittiest hotel. I don't care. It has a tennis court.
Yeah, you're just
the
pumped.
tournament. I'm happy to be there. By the end, you're kind of, after traveling years alone, and it's a lot of, it's tough mentally for sure.
Yeah.
So at the end, I was like, I need a buddy there. I need maybe a coach with me or with a team, or I need a place that I like. It's just like, by the end, I had all these things that I needed.
You get picker and picker as time goes.
Exactly. But no, because it definitely gets to you.
Yeah.
I had to stop around 24 when I kept tearing my ab muscle.
Yeah.
So each time it was like
serving so damn big, dude.
Yeah, serve was definitely my biggest weapon. It's every time it was a few months, like 4 or 5 months to recover, and then it would just tear up again. So after a few times that happened, plus some other injuries, I called it quits.
Yeah.
Which was just about the time Collin Johns, which is how I got to pickleball. I trained with Collin in tennis, traveled with him.
Nice.
And then and he also quit about the same time. And Ben kind of took both of us to a couple of tournaments. He's like, why not? You both quit. Come join me in in a few tournaments, and that's kind of how we both got into pickleball.
Yeah, very cool. So, not off the record because it's on camera, but who was better at tennis, you or Collin?
My ranking was better.
Okay.
I got to 5 something. He was, I believe, 9 something.
Okay.
But head to head, we're 1-1. So.
Oh, interesting. So you guys actually got to play each other.
Yeah.
You guys played each other before you were friends, or were you playing each other as you were friends?
So I met Collin, and we got pretty much became friends right away because we got stuck in the not stuck. But we got in the same housing together through different connections.
For tennis.
For tennis, yeah.
Cool.
And it was a very interesting experience, which is kind of how we bonded.
Okay.
The house and the people were very interesting, let's just say that. And so we had a lot to talk about and kind of bond during that week.
Nice. I could totally see it because obviously we used to have places together and all you do is just kind of talk and like figure things out and just chat. And you're really easy to talk to, so it kind of goes a long way too. Is Collin, I like Collin, is he like more reserved, or like when you actually get to know Collin, you're like, okay, this guy just doesn't shut the fuck up?
No, Collin's definitely more on the reserved side, but I feel like with everybody, when you're friends, you talk a lot. You talk more and more. But no, he's not the type that we just not shut up.
Who's more quiet, or who is he or Ben more quiet?
Ben probably. Wow. I think.
Yeah. Like, who are you closer with?
About the same. Yeah.
So, okay, yeah, very cool. So obviously, injuries suck. They happen, right? I'm dealing with a little bit of a wrist issue here myself, hopefully back in a week or so. And you start playing pickleball, right? And that was around what year was that?
So that 2018 was when we basically played for like 4 or 5 days. Me and Collin with Ben before the Atlanta Open tournament in May of 2018.
Yeah.
Then we played that one tournament, and then came back in the summer and played 3 more tournaments.
Okay.
And that was basically it for the year for me.
Yeah.
And then I went back home for 6 months.
Home as in Israel?
Yeah, Israel. And I started school. So I was in school. So the first couple of years I kind of just came, on school vacations for, a couple, 2-3 times a year for a few weeks, or in the summer it was a bit longer.
Yeah. Were you vacationing here just because you liked it? So, because at the time it wasn't pickleball, was it? So was it you just liked it so much? You have friends here? What do you?
Yeah, I came for one tennis tournament for a money tournament, and just to be in the U.S. just before school, just something to do and have fun with Collin and the Johns family and play a couple of tournaments. But again, I kind of hurt myself a little bit, so I think I didn't even end up playing those tennis tournaments and just played the pickleball tournaments.
Very cool. Yeah. So when you came into 2018, that's kind of when I started too. And obviously, if you had something of a tennis background or racket sport background, you were basically good right away, right? Not the best, but you were like, okay, I get it. These people are not that athletic or whatever, they're 50 plus. So, obviously when you started playing with your good tennis background, way better than mine, do you pick up the paddle and you were like, this is so fucking easy? or were you like, oh, this makes sense, but it's hard. How do you feel about it?
Yeah. Before starting, I remember me and Collin just kind of making fun of the game and this is so
everybody, dude.
Everybody, yeah. Everybody. These pro tennis players. Oh, what is pickleball? It's it's nothing. It's so easy. Once we play, we'll beat everybody easily, right? And no, it wasn't. It was definitely tricky. I feel like the first few days we didn't really know because we were just playing, with Ben, who's number whatever 1, 2, 3 at the time. I don't remember, but one of the best. And then we go to the tournament, and we're playing these players that don't look amazing, technique wise, or not the best athletes on tour.
Coordination's lacking a little bit.
It's okay, we should really destroy these people.
Yeah.
Okay? And they absolutely destroy us.
Of course.
We're not even close. They're hitting all these weird pickleball shots, and we're like, who does that? What is this game? We're just getting crushed. And so that was that was our first experience. So obviously it was very enlightening, and it was it wasn't easy to start. I feel like singles was better. I think we both had a few good wins. We actually played each other first round in that first tournament.
Who won?
Collin won.
Ah.
Pretty easily.
That was the one that he got in tennis. It was actually in pickleball. That's funny.
Yeah. I remember before starting that tournament, I played singles. I felt like I was better in singles than doubles, like before going in. And so I played with Ben, lost 11-0. Obviously, he's a great player. Then I played with Collin. Also he played a few times more than me, but not much at all. And he beat me 11-0. I'm like, this might be a problem. Anyway, going to the tournament after a few days of practicing and going to play there against Simone Jardim, number one female at the time, and I play a game and I lose 11-0.
Wow.
I was like, okay, yeah, maybe this is not for me.
Yeah, I would feel the same way
singles,
too.
and I'm like, this is supposed to be my better event at the moment.
Yeah.
Then go to the tournament. Actually had a few decent wins. But yeah, it was difficult to start for sure.
Dude, it gets tough, right? Like I remember just kind of playing, like you can play to some extent, but I remember thinking, just even how do I hold the paddle?
Yeah.
Right. So in my case, I went to Bobby Riggs for the first time, and the best player is Collin, which we're both really good friends with. You're watching this guy just be unbelievable at this random game, and you're like, you don't hold things like that.
No.
Like you just don't. So I remember coming from tennis, then again, not as high level as you guys, but I'm like, okay, maybe that's how you hold the paddle. So I started playing with that, and I was like, okay, this doesn't work out. So then in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna go all the way to the bottom, and I'm playing with like Brandon French style with like one thing. And okay, that doesn't work
the
either.
Two fingers,
dude. I had like this, like the hardest time figuring it out, because maybe for you and at least for Collin, he has Ben.
Yeah.
So Ben's like, just do this. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For me, I was like, I can listen to Collin, but it's like.
But he plays differently.
But he plays so differently, right? He's like, just short hop everything. This is a way to play. Lob, hold the paddle high. And I'm like, I don't think he ever told me to hold the paddle high, but it's like just watching the best player deal. You're like, okay, I should probably do it too.
You're trying to copy him, right?
And you just have like no idea, like zero idea. And it took me so long to even figure out how to hold the paddle, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but naturally, like you're making the shot most of the time ish.
Right.
It feels awkward.
Yeah. It just feels weird. Like the bounce is different. The feel of the ball is like, I feel like it doesn't matter what paddle I play with, it doesn't feel good at the time.
What was the first paddle you ever picked up?
Ben just gave me some engaged paddle that he has. It was somewhere in between like the Maverick and like I forget the other one, the more traditional shape one.
Yeah, like I think it's standard or something.
Yeah. So it was like something approved, but something that they gave him to like try, and he didn't want to play with anymore.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, that was the paddle I played with the first few months.
Yeah, and Ben is actually he's the very first guy to come out with a long handle paddle.
Yeah, that Maverick. He had his hand in a few of those paddles. I remember he helped with like the Prince one as well, and obviously the Franklin and the Yolas, and he's had his hands with a few different paddles. So
was Prince your very, very first sponsorship?
Yeah.
What?
So yes and no. I started with Paddle Tech. Basically, after that first summer that I came, I had a good run with Adam Stone and TOC.
Dude, my boy.
Yeah, that was wild. Like
feels right.
yes. I love Adam. So yeah, we just randomly played together. I just came to play singles at TOC, and I didn't, it was just like a last minute thing for me. I wanted to see how good I can do in singles.
Right.
And Adam's partner, Chris Miller, didn't. Mills is a legend.
Dude, Mills the man.
I love Mills. No, seriously. Mills is the best.
Yeah.
I love Mills.
I got a story I got to tell you after this. Go ahead.
So Mills got injured. Yeah, I think he had like a tennis elbow or something. So Adam was looking for like a last minute substitute, and I was just there. And there was another player there. I forget exactly who. That was more well known, and Adam probably should have picked him. But like we just kind of connected at a tournament a few weeks before. We all stayed. Me, Collin, him stayed in the living room of the Monroes.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Jack Monroe's parents. Yeah, exactly. Cool. So that's how. Shout out to the Monroes. They're awesome. So we kind of connected there. So Adam was like, I'll just play with Dekel. Like I met him, he seems cool. Like why not? So then we play there. I'm still not really good. Like I've been playing a month and
probably playing right side at this point too.
I'm 100% right side guy. Like I have no business being on the left. I don't know how to dink any backhand dinks. Zero. All I can do is dink forehand cross courts.
Yeah.
And counter. That's seriously the only thing I can do.
Yeah.
And kind of during that week of TOC, I kind of start figuring things out a little bit more. Anyway, we start playing, zero expectations. The first match we had was we had a pretty good draw. Then second match we play Joey Farias and Raf Siebenschein.
Oh wow!
And
that goes way back.
Yes, yeah. We lose to them. And then we start going on a run in the back draw, and we almost lose to two guys that I don't remember. And then Adam just pulled so many great points while I'm just missing everything. Yeah. And we came back and won that game. And then we play Matt Wright and Kyle Yates, who are the number 1 seeds, but lost to, I don't remember, maybe Zane Affleck and Bubba. I think that was it. Anyway, so obviously we just expect to get destroyed and all right, let's have some fun. Yeah. And we end up winning. Wow. And then we end up beating another top 5 team in the next round. I think it was Daniel Moore and Marcin Rospetsky. And then we play Raf and Joey again, and we beat them. So we just ended up having a great run in the back. Just kind of figuring.
You're just watching Adam do it.
Adam was doing everything. I was just dinking and countering. So I felt like a lot of players didn't, you always hit to the new guy, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Or you attack the new guy. I do that all the time. Let's test him out. And but it's kind of the only thing I could do. Yeah. So I was countering fine, and so every time they lose a bunch of points just because they don't know who they're playing against. I had some matches I lost like that the same way. So yeah, that was fortunate and just helped me kind of get sponsorship. I also finished 4th in singles that tournament, so helped me get a small sponsorship with PaddleTech, and so then PaddleTech also had Prince. It was kind of under the same umbrella. Yeah. And they moved me to Prince.
Okay, so basically it was transferred sort of thing.
Yeah, you know? So it was the same company, same ownership.
Yeah. So at that point, I know this also sponsored Collin actually, because it was. I remember that both of you playing with that elongated Prince that had a huge P on it. Yeah, yeah. But what did at that point? I mean, the money now is a lot different, but at that point, what did a good sponsorship look like?
I definitely didn't have a high one. Obviously, just starting. It covered 2-3 flights from Israel for me, and then a few other things. But that was basically it for me. I think at that point, if you had 20 or 30 or 40,000, you were if you're in the top 5 or something like that. I'm
good,
not.
Though.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah. If you're maybe 1, 2, 3, it was around those numbers, maybe. Yeah.
I remember kind of looking around, and a lot of it wasn't even cash. It was straight reimbursement. Yeah. We just want you to be there.
You're right, right.
We're just never ever gonna pay you a dime. Obviously Ben was had to be different, right, and all this stuff. But obviously, I never really been in the top 5 or anything like that. So I don't know what that looks like. But everyone that I kind of talked to, Callan included, which was really, really good at the time, it's always just reimbursement.
Right,
basically.
Right. Because I guess 30,000 is your expenses for the year if you're playing, 20 tournaments. Yeah. Now it's more you have your rental, you have your flights, you have your hotel, you have your entry fees. At that point, none of that was covered by the tours or anything, and that alone is $400 or $500 a tournament. Yeah. So it's definitely. If you have no entry fees covered or anything, it's at least $2,000 a tournament. I remember going to TOC that tournament. I play lost at least $2,500, if not more, just going there. But I was I got to give it a go. See how
it's an investment. At the end of the day,
exactly,
right?
Exactly. See if this is has any potential, and if I should maybe go here on vacations and stuff like that. Right. Maybe get a sponsorship.
TOC.
After.
No, I'm just kidding.
to Brigham.
That place is something else. The one thing that I do like about Brigham is it feels safe.
Yeah.
You know, when I go to a lot of these other places, and it's hard for me to feel unsafe, but I'm like, I gotta lock this door like right now.
It's definitely, it feels safe. There's not a whole lot to do, but I kind of like the mountains in the back. Is always really super nice. They always run the tournament very well. Collin used to run it, and
he used to be good at pickleball too. I mean, I don't know what he does now, but he used to be good. Yeah, I remember. Kind of going back to what you were saying about pickleball shots and whatever. I remember the first time I played Tyler Wren. He was playing with Anna Leigh.
Okay.
And, this is before Anna Leigh was Anna Leigh, basically. And I actually had Catherine, which I was extremely pumped for. I don't even know how I got that. And I remember, like, I'm okay. I'm not great, but I'm okay. And I'm like, I have Catherine. This could be good. Like, I was more like an upside pick at the time. Okay. And I remember playing Tyler Wren and Anna Leigh. And, like, I was like, what is going on? I got so frustrated, because I'm still kind of figuring out, kind of trying to see what I'm doing. And this guy's like wiggling his paddle 7 times before he hits a forehand, like speeding left to my left hip. And I'm like,
is that where you got some of your shots?
I don't know who I got my shots from. I think I'm just like super creative regardless. And dude, I get bored.
Yeah.
So I'll be like drilling, hitting some things with Collin, and I'm like, fuck it.
Doing some stuff. Oh yeah. I remember our drilling sessions.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, it's just, okay, I can only ding down the line like so much in a drilling session. I got to go for something. I just lob it, short hop lob or whatever. So I come up with a lot of these things, but I remember just getting annihilated. Just speed up. No man's land to my right hip. I'm like, this guy's a god. What is going on? Actually, funny enough, talking about shots, I had Kyle Yates in the pod recently, and the Kyle Yates is not the Kyle Yates.
The
little like backhand hole like forehand thing. Yeah. It's actually my shot. We came down to it's my shot.
No way.
I got to tell the story later.
Okay.
It's so good. But no, do you ever think that pickleball was going to get to where it is now, like back in the day?
No. I definitely thought it had good potential. For me personally, I just thought as a way to compete. Like after, being done with tennis, it was fun to get back on the court and compete. And like, hey, if I get paid, not paid, like my expenses paid and I get to do this is great. And obviously slowly it kept growing. But no, I'm like, okay, this can be a cool thing and like it'll keep growing, but not to this like level. This is even like 2 years ago, I didn't think it would be where it is now. Like it's the growth has been just insane. Yeah. Insane. Like I'm like we start about the same time?
I started I played one tournament in 2017 because I took over my dad's because me and my dad have the same name. Yeah. So he was gonna go play a tournament. Something happened to his Achilles or something, and then I played for him. And I was like, I'll never play again, but I did because it was next to my house, my parents' house. And then I didn't pick up the paddle until I was done with my senior year in high school again, and it was like the SoCal Classic or something.
Nice. There's a lot of a lot of tournaments, or most of them were like taped lined temp nets. So we've definitely come a long way. Did not expect this.
Yeah, I also think obviously having kind of started doing the same time, really, which is 2018. And, I think, in my opinion, at least, like, as in my case, I'm 20 years old, whatever. Like, I don't need much to live, right? I need to make just enough money where I'm doing kind of like whatever I want. Yeah. And I'm also like playing pickleball for fun. So if I make a little bit of money and I can pay kind of what I have, like, I'm living life great, right? Obviously, with the years, like, more responsibilities come and whatever. But, I mean, at the time, you must have been like, what, 24?
20? 20, I think 25, 26.
Yeah, like you're 25, like no responsibilities. You're playing this sport. You just got done playing tennis. Like this is something that I can do. I'm making a little bit of money out of it. I'm pretty good. Like you're living a pretty chill life regardless.
Yeah, for me it was like during during school. So I came like during vacations. Like I went back to school to Israel every time, and then played for fun. My expenses are paid. This is awesome. Yeah. And then during COVID, I got like one of the trips I came here. I got stuck here. And then school became online, so I could stay. Yeah. And then you're still in school, still like playing, and then obviously at that point it started growing more to where you see it becoming financially beneficial as well, and growing more. So
at what point? Which one do you start first? Do you start at Getaways or 360 first?
Getaways.
Okay. So at what point? Whether it was you or Ben and because I know you guys do it together, as you're all super close. Like when are you just like, let me just create this company and see what we can do with it?
Yeah. So Pickleball Getaways, we started at the end of 2018. So so it's soon. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Right. Pretty like I just basically I traveled with Ben during the summer of 2018.
Yeah.
And I saw him doing all these clinics and stuff, and I saw there's like a little bit of stuff overseas, but not a lot. And we kind of just wanted to, hey, why don't we do like one of these camps clinics overseas? Like I I always traveled a lot. My mom comes from the travel industry.
Mm-hmm.
We always, as a family, traveled a lot, so it's always been close to me. And so we're like, hey, why don't we do one in somewhere overseas? So we started looking at locations, and Ben was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. He also likes to travel and see new places. And then we just started our first one in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
and it was successful. And we're like, hey, okay, let's do a couple more. And then from there, it kept growing, and yeah, no, it's been awesome.
Yeah, no. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, it's Pickleball Getaways. It's owned by you,
Me and Ben. Yeah.
you and Ben, not Collin.
No, Colin at that point wasn't very into pickleball.
Mhm.
Like he was just kind of just like me, started like a month of pickleball.
Yeah.
And then he went back to Florida, kind of was more still doing tennis,
Yeah.
like teaching tennis. And I think at that point he didn't think he would play pickleball.
Yeah.
So, and then we just did
Back
this.
on 'em.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we just did did these couple trips, and it just kind of grew up from there.
Yeah. So I mean, I think all of you guys, if you're an amateur, I think maybe up to like the 5-0 level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just go check him out. Go do the trip. I know I got the chance to. I was offered to go teach and help with you guys. I couldn't do it because of my passport or something was like it was like old or whatever. So I didn't know that was a thing at all. But I would love to, then again, get a chance to go and
Yeah, I
talk
would
with
love
you guys.
to.
Have
We
some
have
fun.
a Spain one. Feels like that would
Dude,
be
let's go. That would be a
perfect fit for you.
the right fit. Yeah. So that's Pickleball Getaways. And then, when do you start like, okay, like, let's do something else. And you start Pickleball 360. And that is for the three of you guys.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's me, Ben, and Colin. And that we started during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So again, COVID, there's not much going on. And we're like, hey, what can we do like in our spare time? And that's where we started Pickleball 360, which is an instructional video subscription-based website. And we just filmed during COVID a lot of videos, and started putting them online. So we have our other partner who is our videographer and our technician, website guy, and everything.
Yeah.
And
You guys pay him, or does he own a little bit?
He's a part of it. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
He's a partner. And yeah, then grew from there. So we keep shooting more and more videos, and some like I feel like Ben and Collin are like the best teachers.
Yeah.
Like they explain so well. And of course I'm there as well. I'm not as good as them, but at least in explaining. And yeah, so yeah, check it out. It's got some really good content. We always get great feedback.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not as known as it should be because we haven't like pushed it out enough.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody that goes out and checks it out and tries it, and
You just love it.
Yeah, it's getting really good reviews.
Yeah, I've seen you guys actually record some stuff at Dreamland in the
Yeah,
past
yeah, yeah.
before. And I mean, obviously, I don't know much. I don't pay for the subscription. I'm sorry.
You're good.
That's it. Obviously, like I always said in the podcast, like, when Ben says something, you just kind of listen,
yeah.
and that's just the way it's going to be for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And I think it's such a cool thing, especially for like you and Colin a little bit older. But the fact that Ben started so young and he was like so business minded, because you have to always keep in mind, like, yeah, you're making good money or really good money, like playing pickleball. But dude, like anything could happen. You could get injured. Something doesn't heal properly. You get into big, hopefully nothing of that happens ever, right? But the fact that he was not only being the best player and then also doing all these other like business things on it in case maybe even something happened, like it is, to me, it's like really cool because I think he's only a year older than me.
Yeah.
And so I kind of try, I'm not gonna say mimic or anything like that, but I kind of try and see like what are other people doing? Why are they doing it? How can you learn from them? So just kind of seeing that from you guys, especially doing it so early into the sport, right, where nobody even thought about it. Because in my case, I'm like, okay, well, Kyle Yates could have done it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like Kyle does have some, like he has a clothing thing that he did, and some facilities, and I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure he has some other stuff that he started early.
Yeah. Which is awesome too.
Yeah, exactly. It's great. Like you should. And then Yeah, Ben, I guess always had like he started school business, so I guess he always then he changed actually to uh, what was his majoring? Material science, I think.
It was like something
Yeah,
too smart. Like,
material
too smart
science,
for
I
me.
believe.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I
Which
guess
he's never probably gonna use.
Yeah. Probably not. So yeah, no, it's very very cool. Him and Collin now started also. They have their John's Design, the facilities that they're helping.
Yeah.
And all that. So yeah, just more and more stuff. I know Collin has a few things that he's wanting to do as well and starting. So no, I guess it's in the family.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Funny enough, I actually I remember moving to Dreamland, and I wasn't really friends with any of you guys, right? Like I was actually kind of close with Viv. Like we were texting a lot and kind of hanging out at tournaments. We played some together too at the end of 2021, something like I don't remember. The pickleball years are all over the place. It's like 2021, 2023. I don't know. But I remember kind of being there, and like it was just like so awkward for me. I was just like a 21-year-old, just like there's all these people that are so much older than me, so much more experience in pickleball and blah blah blah. And I actually thought we were probably never going to be friends or get along because I didn't know. I didn't know any better, right? And then little times goes by, we hang out, we practice a little bit, and we start getting along. Now we play some tournaments together. Actually, we did do well in APP.
Yeah. What was it? 2021?
2022.
2022. Yeah, we played a few. Yeah, and I feel like we finaled in
both.
Yeah, we played 2.
Yeah, we played 2.
And then we played like something else as well. I forget.
We did well. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We finaled both. One of them we're very close to winning.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like we always did well. Like even like the PPAs that we had like a few quarterfinals that were like very close.
Yeah, every match we lost.
Everything was very close.
Yeah, like 9-11, 10-12.
Yeah. And like against the top team. So I never feel like we had a bad tournament.
Yeah, we never had a bad tournament. It was always, it kind of leaves like, in my case, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth because I'm like, we should have won that match.
Yeah,
but you always
there's so many close matches. Which like I actually just like a few days ago thought about this. Like I started counting like how many matches did I like win after having match points down like this year alone, like from like March or something like that. It's like 7.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like insane.
The matches are so small.
Yeah, everything is so close. The margin is so close. The so many good players. The level is high with everybody. So it's a lot of great teams. There's no easy matches anymore. From the first round, you have a tough match in every event.
Yeah.
So it's always going to be close. I guess it's whoever plays the big points well, or like I feel like if you're more confident, you're playing those points better as well. So I feel like kind of sometimes you win more of them and sometimes you lose more of them.
Yeah.
But
confidence is a big thing too.
Huge,
There's so many things that go into playing all these matches.
Yeah.
The one question that I had for you, and somebody actually brought it up on the pod. Obviously there's a lot of stacking going on. Right, there's I'm a left side player sort of thing. I know you play both sides. You've done really well on both sides. You won tournaments on both. That said, there's always like some form of thing where I'm a left side player, you're a right side player. Let's play together, sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Watching Ben and Collin, or there's a lot of J-Dub and Dylan, right? Like they're losing a lot of arguably they're the best pickleball players.
Yeah.
Right. That said, most of the points those people lose or those players lose are on stacking. So do you ever see, and in your case, you stack a lot too, even though you play both sides. Do you ever see the sport just kind of like, okay, like maybe we just don't stack? Because if it's getting faster and faster, it's just harder and harder to deal with it.
I don't think so. I think there will always be stacking. I feel like you can specialize in one side or the other. At least you'll have a side that you prefer. Or as a team, there's a side that usually, if I'm playing left with whoever, usually there's a side that works better as a team. You rarely see a team that like really switches all the time. So one thing I like can happen is maybe like half stack, which is something like Tyson and I do sometimes, or some other teams where. Like when you're unstacking, when you're returning, basically you're staying on your side, which then it helps with when like you said, the game is getting faster, the drives are getting faster and harder, so that will help with that. But then that is only just a kind of a small portion of all the points. There's definitely like you can see Dylan getting caught sometimes with drives or Collin or whoever's stacking. It's definitely harder to catch up to the drives. So I feel like if you lose more than a few points on that, more than after 2-3 times, maybe you half stack, which you go back to the same sides on the return.
Okay, yeah, that's an interesting take. I don't think the stacking should go anywhere. I also think the sport should be going in a different direction than it actually is. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but I always when we talk about countering, I always talk about your counter, right? And I always said it too, is paddles are powerful. They're extremely powerful. And I give you credit for hitting it so hard. But the thing is, you've been always hitting it hard, right? When you have other people now that they're countering super hard that probably shouldn't, it kind of takes away from, strength and weaknesses that people have, right? So, then again, we can talk about paddle technology and everything all day, right? And I can do it with everybody. But it's just one of those things that, paddles should just be an extension of you instead of doing the work for you. If you want to give a little quick take on that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Paddle shouldn't have shouldn't give you a big advantage, right? There should be different paddles for different things. If you want, if you like the feel of this paddle, the shape of this paddle, or this paddle, just different feels and maybe a little bit more power or thicker. So definitely should be different paddles, but it shouldn't define you as a player. Shouldn't give you a big advantage over your opponent. It's hard to say what is the line of too much power. Obviously now paddles are very powerful and people are saying it should be less. It's hard to know what the max spin should be as well. And I think a lot of it is also ball dependent. So I feel like earlier this year we had the first version of the Vulcan and playing in cool conditions. And then it was sometimes out of control, and we have
it is out of control.
Yeah, and we have the body bag matches and whatever.
You're part of those.
I'm always a part of them.
Yeah, you're part of those.
James just bagged me 7 times in our last match, and it's all good. It's it's a part of the game, and but yeah, paddles are definitely hotter. But now I feel like with the softer ball, it's a little bit less extreme. So the new
when it gets hotter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now with the new Vulcan version, it's a little bit softer. It's a little bit warmer outside. So I feel like it's not extreme as the first 3 months that we had in the year. So I feel like that plays a big factor as well. So it's hard to put a line what is the max power things should be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like something that was 2 years ago. We both played with the Engage previously. I felt like it was always fine, powerful, but fine.
Yeah, but not incredibly powerful. It has good power.
Yeah.
But some of these, when I was playing with the D-Lam, especially under controlled conditions, no wind, maybe half indoor or indoors, I mean, dude, it was
it
was something.
The D-Lams were a lot for
it
sure.
Was something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it's something for the what is it, UPAA now to figure out. Hopefully USA Pickleball as well. Maybe find the sweet spot of what is the best, spin and power ratio.
What would it be? What would that be for you? What paddle was for each one? Do you think is perfect?
So hard to say. So I would say I remember playing with the Engage and I thought it was it was good power but not too much. So that. The Engage Pursuit from 2 years ago. So I don't know if there were any changes recently or not, but
the graphite one.
Yeah. And spin. Oof. There's some paddles are very spinny right now. I don't know. Hard to put a line on that, but I know it used to be 40 on the grit scale that they used to test, and now
48 now.
Right now it's 48 and I feel like that's a little bit too high.
Okay.
For me. But again, if that's the game, we all adapt and try, learn new shots. The game has changed so much.
Yeah.
And since we started, at first, we were just, you couldn't put really any spin. All the dinks were, all the dinks were sliced. The drives were all just flat. You couldn't put much spin on the ball. And the more technology advanced, like we're learning new shots. Like I feel like every year or two, like it's a completely new game. Like if people say, "Oh, you've been playing for 6 years," yes, gives a good advantage, but it also the game is completely different than what it was 6 years ago. We just needed to relearn pickleball in a lot of ways.
Well, to me, it's just not pickleball anymore. Like it is what it is. Like pickleball to me is Collin. It's like something like that. Like I do think there should be drives. I do think there should be shake and bake. I do think there should be like power. Like I do agree. Like you don't want everything like soft because it's just kind of boring.
Yeah.
But it's like it's also getting to the point where like people can just like drive everything, drive the third, the fifth, the seventh, and like get away with it.
There's a lot of those. Yeah.
And a lot of times it's like, okay, well, he can, not because I'm hitting a bad block, but maybe like my paddle is just too soft. I can't do anything with it. You just drive it again, So it's things like that I don't like necessarily fully support. Now, if that's your style of play, I think it's great. But I also think you should be to some extent punished for not playing the game right. Yeah. That's like if I'm like playing tennis and I'm like serving underhand the entire time, like it could work a little bit, but like in the long term it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Right? So that's kind of how I view pickleball. Like, you can drive the third, maybe the fifth, but at some point you do want to get to the kitchen line. And the fact that you can just like back somebody from like the baseline. Like I was watching, my new team, the Bay Area Breakers. I don't know who hit the ball, but he was coming in and Collin Schick was like basically at the baseline and this guy ripped the ball out of the air from no man's and hit Collin Schick.
No way.
That's how fast the ball was going. Like he just got hit. And the guy's like from like one baseline to the other basically. Like that's just crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, then again, I don't have the answers. Hopefully UPAA does, or whatever that thing.
I feel like
is.
they're doing a lot of things this year to get it done next year, or maybe by the end of like later this year.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're all waiting for some news about that.
Yeah, and I mean I don't know how much you know about tennis equipment and ping pong equipment, but like to me all the shapes and everything look the same. The thickness looks the same. So why not like have some regulation that way where
the shapes are like there are different shapes in tennis. Not shapes maybe, but just like head sizes, right?
But it doesn't change the oval like look of it.
No.
Right.
They all kind of look similar, just different head sizes and like string patterns and stuff, like for more power or more spin or all that. But yeah, there needs to be. We all know it. There needs to be more regulation, and just paddles need to be like just more closer together in terms of like their how good they are or how powerful they are, or something like also people kind of I feel like forget sometimes if you're playing with a thicker paddle, it should be like less powerful, like
not now.
No, but like let's say if you're playing with basically just limiting the power. I feel like everybody would play with a thicker paddle, right? Like if the power is, let's say whatever, let's call it 100 is the max power. Why wouldn't I play with 100 max power with a thicker paddle that it feels easier for me to control and is more solid and is easier for me to get to the kitchen with than 100 power with a 10 millimeter core.
Right.
So I feel like there may be some ratio to that. So maybe like the thinner paddle are allowed to be maybe 120 power, and the thicker paddle is just 100.
Yeah.
There's some kind of ratio
like a give and a
exactly. So there should be some differences, but not extreme, obviously.
Yeah. Do you and Adam Stone have the absolute best picture in pickleball? Like that should be like I don't care if you're playing with me, with Tyson, with whoever you're playing with. Like as soon as they show like the Dekel Bar picture, it shouldn't be you driving the ball. It should be just you on top of Adam, just like about to hit a forehead. It's like that was at the U.S. Open too.
It's so good. Yeah, that was one of my favorite tournaments like ever.
Yeah.
It's the first time we made like a major final together.
Mm-hmm.
Adam was a beast all week. We had some very good wins there, and yeah, we had like some crazy points and match points and like some sick pictures. Like you said, it's always been fun playing with Adam. We have so many like hilarious like match points, like celebrations. Like I kept a few of these videos, and just like Adam's celebrations at the end are priceless.
My favorite Adam's point or whatever. It's the one at TOC against Riley and Tyson.
Yeah.
Like you ran off the court, paddle off the hand, smashing the fence, and Adam's just like, like wins the point, throws a paddle up, gives you a sweaty hug.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. I just run, like I get a ball that like went far, and I just like run into the fence, lose my paddle. Adam's all alone and is on the court against Riley and Tyson. They're both going at him, and he just like forehand back and just like, and then like wins the point. This is match point.
Yeah.
Like close in the third. I forget exactly the score, and then just like goes just like crazy. Dude, throws his paddles, and it's amazing.
One thing that I do have to touch on real quick, for you specifically, obviously there's always talk about your serve, always.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I want to give you like an open, like space, and kind of talk freely, about your serve and kind of why you started it. Give everyone that watches like, why the serve is fine, because everyone's like, look at this serve, look at that serve, like, so just, I want to give you like just the open, mic to just to justify yourself.
Oh, sure. I mean, I feel like slowly I just started hitting it harder. I don't even remember how I started like going on my toes and stuff. I feel like a tennis forehand, you kind of sometimes, you jump on your front foot. So I feel like I just automatically kind of became like that. In terms of like the rules and legality, so basically you have to hit under your below your belly button, right? Or like the older
nipples, right?
the older rules, yeah. So I got approvals that it'll be under the nipples. No, I'm kidding. If you check any video footage ever, you will not find me contacting the ball above my belly button, and I stand by that. But like
not at all, zero.
Check if you find a video with the right angle, not like from like behind that you can't really tell, but like anywhere from the side, you will not find one picture, video, whatever that is above the belly button. Usually there's a good margin to spare actually as well. So if you find it, send it to me. I'll admit I was wrong, but
no, he'll Venmo you $50.
I will bet that that you will not find any of that because it does not exist.
Yeah.
And then I guess now the rules for the MLP, actually they removed the belly button at all, and it's just the other rules, which actually make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Because it removes the vagueness, and like nobody knows really exactly. It's just hard to we have a shirt on. It's hard to tell exactly where the belly button is. Like you can estimate, but it's just harder for the refs to.
With croc tops.
Maybe we should. It's hard for the refs to know exactly, but this just takes it away. And I feel like if you hit it below your wrist level, which is one of the other rules, and if you hit it down to up, it's very, very, very hard to hit it below, like above your belly button. And if you do, it's hard to hit a good serve like that.
Yeah.
So I don't see it as an advantage, or like physically it's kind of impossible or extremely hard. So now we're seeing in MLP, everybody's just keeping their same serve because, it's not really a huge advantage to hit it above your, like you just can't do it.
Yeah.
So for me, it makes a lot of sense to bring that to PPA as well, because I know a lot of the refs are very frustrated with the new rules, and they're struggling and they're arguing between themselves, and like they don't know exactly how to call this new rule. It's very difficult. Like there's a lot of vagueness to it with how how much you raise your hand like before, or where exactly you drop the ball from, because again it's now it's like your hip bone is like the top
something
spot,
that you can't see. Anyways,
what is that exactly? Where is it? Again, it's under the shirt. A lot of I feel like it depends who you are or which ref you have at the court at the moment. That is how your serve will be called, which is pretty absurd. And I like zero blame on the refs. Like this is like it's just a rule that is almost impossible to call correctly, or maybe it is impossible to call correctly and consistently. So yeah, I would definitely go towards the MLP way. It seems to be working well. It's been 2 events so far, 0 complaints by anybody, 0 like people taking advantage of serves or the serve being like a crazy weapon, right? Like I remember last year before they changed the rule, there was some, I forget exactly the stat, but it was around or less than 3% of returns missed, which is like basically nothing. And a lot of them we know are because of bad bounces of the court, of the ball, or whatever it is, and not just because of the serve, or maybe I'm trying to hit a very deep return. Anyway, it's not just because of the serve. And so 97% of the time, or something around that number, we're starting the point and playing regularly. In tennis, it's like, what is it, like 40%, 30 something percent? Yeah, so we're obviously not even close to that. Almost every point we play is not really affected by, or, get a mistake because of the serve.
Sure.
So it just seems like we have maybe other issues we should focus on, and not something that is not broken at all.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I agree with most of what you're saying. The only slight disagreement that I do have is that as the serve being served, it might not, like, it's obviously how you start the point.
Yeah.
So you could always get, even if you don't miss the return, you can still have a really short return, and that helps make the third. That helps hit a good drive. So it does alter the point in a way. That said, I'm not against the idea of using your attributes to make you a better pickleball player, right? So now whether the rule is above the head, below the toes, like, I don't care what it is, right? But like, you're a tall, big guy, 6'3", 6'4", like, fucking over 200 pounds. Like, you should be serving hard, you should be. That said, I think there's definitely a lot of people that, then again, like, whether it's a counter, a serve, a drive, like, they should not be hitting it as hard as they are, right? So I don't have an issue with, basically using your physical attributes and what you're good at to make yourself a better player. I just wish that it was, like, somewhat regulated better, right? Like, and again, like, serve however you want, but then, like, have
it consistent, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
The rule,
exactly. So then I at least know, and then we can also, we can start talking about, the 7 inches that I have to work with, like, behind the baseline a lot of the times, right? Or the fact that I have a pole with no cushion on the side, and I'm serving. I mean, there's so many things, and I mean, how it goes. Like, I mean, if you and Tyson were playing together in MLP or something, like, that's a really tough team to play against.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I'm playing with James. He's got a bigger serve than Tyson.
Yeah.
I think,
Serve huge,
it's close
too.
Anyway.
And obviously, you guys have a lot of success, right? And with the MLP thing, like, I think it's fine, especially if the rules allow, it's totally cool with me. And then again, James does have the power.
Yeah.
James does have the height.
Yeah.
To me, the issue is when, like, somebody that's like 5'3"
is cracking
cracking serves harder than somebody like you. Right? Well, in this case, it doesn't really happen very often, but you get the idea. You know. So that's, like, really the only thing that I'm, like, against. So I just want to have something that that's a normal rule that's going to benefit someone that's bigger, taller, has more power.
Yeah.
Just like, you grab John Isner. He's really good at serving in tennis.
Yeah.
He should be really good at serving here too. Like, that's my take.
No, yeah, for sure. I agree. I'm hoping now with the UPAA, they look at all the rules, and, like, obviously the paddles and everything, and as well as I don't know if that is their job or not, but like the rules of pickleball, the game as well. So the serve being one of them, and some other stuff. There's a lot. It's, again, a new sport. I feel like we're not as new anymore, but we're still new, still figuring things out. Like, technology is changing, so hopefully everything will be in line soon. And it's not like, I feel like everywhere you go, this is what people talk about.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be. Like, it shouldn't be paddles. It shouldn't be rules. It shouldn't be anything. It should be the game, the play, the personalities, all that. So results, not. There's definitely way too much talk about rules and technology and all that.
Well, no, for sure. And I mean, paddle balls, like, PEDs is a big, at least was a big one last year too.
Yeah, I feel like people are just like, all right, this is happening, and it's not.
Yeah, exactly. So, and, like, last year was like, oh, what's, like, better, the paddle or the PED, whatever it is. And it's like, at the end of the day, like, it really shouldn't be about that. It should be about, how hard or how good or whatever the player is actually playing.
Yeah.
And, like, nowadays, you just get the, oh, great, like, there's, like, 8 Yolas in, like, 2 semifinals, or, whatever it is, right? But there's, like, always something, or, like, oh, this person's, like, juicing or whatever. Like, it's like, well, okay, let's just make it to a point where, you know, we've seen how hard this guy works, and it has nothing
Yeah.
to do with the paddle, it has nothing to do with the ball, it has nothing to do with the fucking bleachers, and it's just like, okay, like this guy's been training hard,
Yeah.
eating right, doing everything he possibly can to get better, and that's where the results come. Instead of like, I'm losing in the second round and I switch to the really powerful paddle, and now I'm like
Yeah.
in the quarterfinals every single tournament.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of like actually what's happening, you know. That said, time is running up. I just, you know, gave a quick shout out to my sponsors. I could be talking to you all day, by the way.
Of course.
But you know, Hesicor, U-Drippin, Stack, Head. Please use DJ Young at checkout if you do go buy some stuff. You know, please like and subscribe. Again, you know, we're having really good conversations out here. Really cool people like Dekel and Jack Monroe was just here as well. And yeah, big shout out to everybody. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me, DJ.
And
It's
then
been
I
fun.
actually go ahead.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say I always open up the pod to whatever you want to talk about. If there's anyone you want to thank or you know anything like that. So it's your time to shine.
Of course. I mean, thanks to my sponsors, my main sponsor, Hiola, of course, and Pickleball Central. And go sign up for a Pickleball Getaway. Got a lot of cool locations.
Spain, baby. Let's go.
Spain, yeah. Pickleball 360. Check it out. And yeah, thanks, DJ. This is awesome. Great setup, and happy for you.
Thank you so much, brother.